So my name is Dmitry Zhdankin. I am the CEO and co-founder of a company called FinFox. FinFox is a San Francisco-based startup that provides smaller-sized businesses, growing startups, with a financial forecasting, financial modeling, planning, reporting services. So basically everything that a CFO or a financial analyst would do in a larger company, but we provide that same set of skills by using our software. And so we automate a lot of that work for these growing companies. And the way this works is that we have a software layer that provides sort of an analytical framework, and we combine that with intellectual expertise of actual CFOs, of actual financial analysts that then use this data to provide more in-depth sort of contextual, analytical service on top of that. I think it's a fantastic idea. I'm really glad that you folks are putting it together. I think when I was growing up and when I went to high school, just knowing what's going on in the world in its own was, I think, a big challenge. I think when you are growing up, the biggest question that you always have, what am I going to be when I grow up? What is going to be that great thing that I'm going to accomplish? And often enough, it gets limited to the few things that you observe in your own environment. And it could be okay, but I think when you are able to bring in all these different people with all their different experiences and learn from individuals who have provided internet to remote villages in the Himalayas, or a photographer who studied shamanism and mental disease, the diversity of all of these different experiences brought to, I think, a community of high school students, of younger people, is just completely extraordinary, and I'm really glad that that you're putting it together. So I was invited by the Youth Forum to give a presentation on one of the panels relating to technology and diversity in technology, and I was really excited to share some of the experiences that I had in that field. I think diversity in its own is this big monolithic idea that when looked at it in that way, just the word itself, diversity, it can really throw you off and make you confused as to what that means. I think a really important part of understanding diversity is really breaking it down to its individual components and seeing, what creates diversity. What do we mean by diversity? Often enough, that gets focused on things like gender, ethnicity, socioeconomic background, but I think that there's actually an opportunity to go even deeper into a more fundamental level of what are those things on our individual, like, personality level that form this diversity. And to me, at least, it really boils down to the fundamental assumptions that we hold as individuals. What are the things that we believe in? What are some of the prejudices that we bring in? How do we think about problems? I think the diversity, in my view, when it's focused on these very specific assumptions that people hold, when we analyze it at this granular level, it is, I think, where we can get to just a better understanding of the problem. And instead of looking at it as this monolithic beast, we can then take it in the individual components and then really be able to understand it much better.